Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire potential briefing from Monday, August 17th. Looking at a steady warming and drying trend underway after the wetness of last week. We don't have any significant winds or lightning events in terms of creating new large fire starts, but we will see some isolated thunderstorms on top of wet fuels in many areas, and then possibility of more wetter storms across the eastern areas late in the week. A lot of our fuels have dropped down to the 50th to 70th percentiles. The exceptions are far western areas of Nevada and western Idaho, and there'll be some drying after that the next couple of days, but it will be rather gradual. And part of that reason is because we still have some moisture across the northern and eastern areas, some isolated thunderstorms, a mix of wet and dry. There'll be some dry, breezy conditions in parts of western and southwestern Nevada, and again across parts of the central Snake River Plain tomorrow, but still some higher moisture and somewhat higher humidity across eastern areas with a stray shower or thunderstorm. Again, the lightning probably not a concern because it's coming on wetter fuels. There might be some IA, but any fire growth should be rather gradual at this point. The only exception may be across the parts of the Payette National Forest where fuels are a little bit drier than other areas. Did have some lightning in parts of eastern Idaho yesterday, a handful of strikes. There was some moisture with it, though. We did have anywhere from a couple hundredths to over a quarter of an inch, and that is coming on top of a very wet week. The areas in green to dark green are ½ inch to an inch, and in some places even close to 2 inches of rain. Other areas received anywhere from a tenth to a half of an inch, so significant moisture. There were some missing areas down in far southern and southeastern Utah, to keep an eye on that. But otherwise, a lot of wetness, giving us a bit of a break. New IA has been fairly slow. The short-term flash drought just for the past month doesn't really show much in the way of significant drought. We actually have moistening in parts of the central areas and just some minor drought conditions to the north. So the wetness of the past month or month and a half has done a bit of work. Our fine fuels, 10-hour fuels, are somewhere around 7 to 9% in the orange areas, and then 9 to 11% higher up, so not critical there. Our ERC point map showing moistening in the southern and even central areas, but you see that far western area, fuels there in the 80th to 90th percentile, so something to keep in mind. Upper level map shows a flow of moisture still across western areas and pushing eastward, so we'll see some showers and thunderstorms, drier areas in the southeastern part of the region, high pressure off the Pacific, and then we're kind of in this intermediate air mass, not quite dry, not quite wet. We have some more moisture here in Nevada, so we're not really getting to that really dry weather, even though temperatures will be going up. That's because the Four Corners high setting up here is going to start spinning things around a little bit. Overall, looking at winds the next couple of days, some moderate breezes of 12 to 20 miles an hour here in southern Nevada. Moderate breezes here in the Snake River Plain, again, maybe 20, 25, and some moderate breezes in western Wyoming. But fuels there quite moist. You can see the humidity on the bottom. Nothing really crazy, not much in the way of single digits. And a lot of areas still in the higher elevation, still somewhere between 20 and 40%, though we do see a bit more drying towards midweek. Precipitation, there'll be some scattered storms where we see the greens shifting eastwards in time. And then overall, we do have high pressure reestablishing itself. And then we'll be watching some of that drier air pushing into some areas, but we also have some of that black area, and that's where we could see some thunderstorms moving into parts of eastern Utah. You can see that we actually moisten up part of the Dixie and Fish Lake National Forest into the Manti late in the period. So we'll keep an eye on that. Winds aren't a concern. Humidity, again, not super dry, drier than it has been, but still seeing mid-20s in the northern mountains, and then even higher humidity values as we go into Saturday, especially northern and eastern areas. There'll be some precipitation Thursday, Friday, and Saturday across central and eastern areas and spreading up into Idaho. So again, nothing really critical. There'll be some lightning. There'll be some IA, but just the humidities and fuels a little too moist for significant growth. So you can see the 7-day outlook showing a gradual drying trend, but not back to those critical conditions that we had. Again, our driest areas will be in western areas. If we're going to get a large fire somewhere, it'll be in that strip of brown that you see here in our far west. Nothing significant on the 6 to 10 day, still seeing some moisture, especially in eastern areas, but above normal temperatures. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.